Hey guys, so I just wanted to try to make a quick uh, video, a how-to guide, if you will, for how to edit things in iMovie. So I've been doing my stories on there that I've been interpreting, and I've also been doing the spelling list that I've been sending to my class, or to the teacher to send to the class slash that I send to my student, for the spelling words every week and the vocab words every week. So I'm going to give you a quick but hopefully clear and easy way to follow and edit and how to do all those things so you guys can reference back to this. Okay, so this is my iPad. I will use this generally to do all of my editing and recording because it's bigger and I feel like I can see what I'm doing a little easier because I'm a little blind, rather than using my phone for all of it. But you can certainly do all of this on your phone as well. So don't feel like you can't. If you have an iPhone, you can certainly do all of this on your iPhone too. So when I've been recording stories, everything you do, you want to create a new story or a new movie, you would click the little plus sign and do movie. You will then add whatever it is that you're doing. So for if you give a moose a muffin, I click all of these story pages in order, and I hit create movie. So then it will be creating the movie. Okay, so I've got all of this in here. Now, because I uploaded each one individually, they're already sectioned off. I don't have to split the sections. But say, you wanted to edit something a little bit, you can move it along. See this little line here? You can move it along the story. And normally you would sit here. I'll show you on another video. So it's already naturally broken apart into sections. To get the pictures to line up, because they sort of adjust like that, and I don't really like it to do that, I go to the beginning of the story, and you can pinch to move everything up here. You can move it all around so that it's where you want it to be. So sometimes, it's not going to be like totally perfect. That's what it'll look like in the beginning. Then you click this little arrow going to the right, and it will automatically bring you to the end of that section, so you can adjust the story again as necessary. And you'll go through and do all of that. So on this one, I adjust it so I can see the pictures and the writing on the bottom, and then I hit the arrow going to the right. It brings me to the end, and I do the same thing, and I adjust it all the way through. So you'll do that all the way through your story. Then you will come back. I change all of the transitions, so see how it kind of goes through there. I change all the transitions to none, so that way it just goes right through. There's no differences. If you leave it on say fade, when you go through, it'll blacken out, and that means when your picture is in here, that will also blacken out, and I don't like when it does that. So I just save myself the trouble and have no transitions in between. So now that you've got that all set up, that's in, you're ready to record the story. So I will hit the little microphone here on the iPad. On the phone, it is, a plus sign, and it says you will voice record, and you can hit the voice record, and that's exactly what this is. Just on the phone, it's in a different place. You have to kind of look for it, but you want to find voice record. So when you hit record, it'll give you a 3-second warning. Then it'll play through, and then you will read the story as it goes. I usually adjust the pages to kind of give me an idea of about how long it'll take me to read each page. Sometimes pages are on there longer than others. You'll know what that means. So when you're done, it'll have it in the blue along the bottom. You can either retake it, you can review it, or you can accept it. So I'm going to hit accept just because this is, to help show you guys what to do. So now your recording is in here. if you hit play, let me make sure the volume's up on this, then it'll play through, and then you will read the story as it goes. I usually adjust the pages to kind of give me an idea of about how long it'll take me to read each page. So you get the idea. Your recording's right on there. It can hear you. It's pretty clear. But to adjust that, you would hit the little blue button for the recording at the bottom. You can adjust the volume if you feel like you're not loud enough. You can turn the volume up. And you hit play. Then it'll play through. And then you louder. And if you lowered it, it would be lower, obviously. So that would be how you would record. You can adjust the speed on that. There's a lot of ways that you can play with it, so it can be kind of fun to play around with it. Again, if you're recording and the reading doesn't really match up with the story, adjust the length of the story. You will see it adds seconds, or takes away seconds along the top. So you can adjust how long each picture is on the video to match your recording. And you can do that for each section of the story. So that would be how you do all of those things. Now, usually what I do at this point is I save what I've done already. I go to this little thing here. And from here, you can airdrop it, which is usually what I do. I hit the airdrop, and then I send it to my phone. So then that actual recording comes to my phone. I can put my headphones in. I can record my interpretation on the iPad with the actual story that I am going to be editing with. So that way, when I add my picture-in-picture, which I will show you in a second, it will automatically line up to the pages because I'm using the actual recording that's on here. I'm sure there's another way to do it. That is the way that I've been doing it. It just, for me, makes the editing process a little bit easier. So, when you're ready to put your picture-in-picture in, you've got your recording done, you hit this little plus sign up here, and you would hit video. And then I usually go to recently added because I have just done it. So, we'll say it's this one. I'm not sure which one it is. You hit the thing you want to add, right? Then you hit these three buttons, three little dots, and it will bring you all of these options. I always choose the picture-in-picture, and it will overlay my interpretation into the story. Now, you would normally have that blue line all the way across, but I didn't go all the way across for this. So then you can click on each individual section. I can edit my interpretation, I can edit the story, I can edit the recording. So I edit the interpretation. You hit this little plus sign here. I don't know what I just did with it. Oh, because I clicked out. You hit this little arrows, and that means you can drag and move, you can enlarge, you can shrink, all of the things that you want to do with that. I usually put it in this corner. I have to find the part of the story that has the least amount of coverage for whatever the writing is in the story. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Right now, if I click out, I have a white border around it. If I click on here and I click this little thing here, it will take that border away. So it's just a matter of your preference of whether or not you want the border to be on there or not. I tend to like to have the border, because I think it kind of separates it a little bit more and makes the interpretation a little more obvious for anybody that's using it. So that is how I do picture-in-picture stories. I'm not going to keep this because I've already done it, so we're going to delete that project. Now, to do a video of like spelling words or things like that, same thing, create new movie. You would go in and find something that you've already done. So like I did this on April 2nd. You click on whatever you want, create movie. So this is what I would use for when I'm making videos of like the spelling lists, spelling words, things like that for my student and for the class that I send to the teacher every week. So here, you know, I'm signing numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. This was for the sign language series that we're doing as one of the resources. So I recorded myself doing all of those signs. Then I come through, now that I've added it on, and I can break it up. So I see where the break is between the signs that I want to do. this line here shows where your break is going to be. So then when you go, you hit Actions, Split. Well, you would hit split, not the actual thing. There we go. And it will split your video. This is the transitions. I always pick none, but you can play around with them. You can have fade, and it will fade in and out. They all do different things. I always just pick none for that. Anyhow, to add text, you would hit this little T, and it will give you a bunch of options for text. So I've done pop-up. You can do any one of these. I'll pick gravity just for the fun of it. It'll come up in the middle here. You can edit it. So this is, numbers. Number. So here, it's in the center. You don't want it there. You just go down here and you click lower, and it will move it to the lower corner. So that way, when you play, it will pop up in the lower corner and not in the center. And that is how you can add text to it. So you would do 1, then you would split it again, 2, and you would split this all the way through and add it for each individual section as you would go along. If you wanted to add music to the background of this, because it can be boring to watch somebody just signing something without listening to anything, you again hit this plus sign in the top corner, go to audio, then you can add whatever you want, sound effects or things. I go to soundtracks, and if I go all the way to the bottom, there's a list of soundtrack theme music that's already in here. There's this one, which is Bright. That's a little bit much. I usually go for playful. I go for simple. Sometimes I will do this travel one. So really you can pick any one of the ones that you want. So whenever you decide what you've picked, we'll go with playful. You hit the plus sign, and it will drop it into your video. It will be at the bottom. It'll be green. If you changed it to the foreground, it would change it to blue, like it is in the recording of a story. I, in these videos, always keep it in the background because then it's not quite blaring and loud. So when you play, it'll have the music playing in the background. You can, again, with the other one, you can adjust the volume so it can be louder or softer. It just depends on what you want it to sound like when you're doing the video. So yeah, that's, I believe, everything that you would use to create these videos. Both stories, picture-in-picture, text boxes with the, various signs for editing, all of those things. So I hope that was helpful for you. Alright, so I hope that was helpful for you. I'm sorry if it was a little fast, but you can go back and rewind or review anything. As always, feel free to call me, text me, message me on the Teams thing, whatever. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help, because I'm here and this is what we're doing. We're in this for a while now, as much as it kills me. So yeah, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully I will get to actually see you all in person soon.